And it does seem more than a little odd that we don't have voter ID. And then you look at, say, states like California, which is supermajority Democrat, they passed a law banning voter ID in any election whatsoever. Now, how is that supporting democracy? That's not supporting democracy. I mean, that's insane. Almost every country on earth has voter ID requirements, but we don't. Why? And why do the same people that demanded vaccine IDs for you to do anything are the same ones who say no ID for voting? Something doesn't add up. It doesn't add up, you know? So I actually think, I mean, my firm opinion is that those who say Trump is a threat to democracy are themselves the threat to democracy.
So we are now seeing the major alarm being sounded by Elon Musk that's claiming that the Democrats are trying to actually steal the election. And we are going to be talking about this. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Now, we have been hearing a lot of these talks about how Elon Musk is buying votes, that he's affecting the overall outcome of this election by buying these votes. And it's kind of crazy because on both sides, it feels as though we're in this point of time where the election could easily be stolen. Regardless of, what you are hearing, what you are seeing, we are witnessing some very significant tactics on how to not only affect how many votes a candidate gets, but we're also seeing a very big issue happening in the United States. And it's actually being pushed by the Democrats. Now, for those that actually don't know, I am not very political at all. I don't like to talk politics, but I do think that this definitely is a problem that needs to have a light shined upon it. So let's actually go over here real quick. So we have almost every country on earth requires voter ID. Why not America? And if we actually look at this, this is a list of all the countries with voter ID. The big question is, why doesn't the US require voter ID? It's because it allows anyone to be a registered voter, essentially. And they're also manipulating how many people are voting, who's voting, and they're also persuading groups to actually vote a specific party. Over here, we have surge in illegal immigration in swing states under Biden-Harris. Illegal immigration populations have surged dramatically in several swing states since the start of the Biden-Harris administration. Michigan leads with a staggering 775% increase, followed by Arizona at 734%, Nevada at 562%, and Wisconsin at 467%. North Carolina saw a 446% rise, Georgia 401%, and Pennsylvania 241%. These figures could have major implications for the political landscape in these key states. And yeah, I mean, listen, regardless of how you want to look at this, when you actually look at the data, this is concerning. It should concern everyone, regardless of who you are voting for, regardless of your political stance. This is concerning. It's concerning because it's not a fair election. We are witnessing manipulation of the election, of one of the most important elections as well. And over here we have Kamala created a program where up to 2 times as many inadmissible alien Haitians are flown into the interior of the USA than there are babies born in the entire state of Ohio. And if we actually look at the inadmissible Haitians versus the Ohio babies born, this is pretty insane. And also, Biden policy, 823,000 aliens flown into the U.S. Biden allegedly implemented a policy flying inadmissible aliens into the interior of the U.S., reportedly bringing in up to 45,000 per month from various countries. Since the policy's launch, 823,000 individuals have been transported. For comparison, only 65,000 were relocated in 10 years prior to this initiative. Now listen, it's not just about the election that this is concerning about, right? It's also concerning about the well-being of some of these areas. Listen, there was a post put out by the New York Post, okay? And it outlined how the migrant crisis is costing over $150 billion. This happened last year, 2023. $150 billion was the cost of the migrant crisis. And we already know in 2024, it's become a lot worse. And if you actually look at the crisis zones, they have to cut police, fire, and services to cover costs. So what does that mean? Well, it means that a lot of these zones now have heightened crime, and those that are affected by the crime or, affected by, whatever the case may be, now don't have access to services or protection. And this is also why we are seeing such significant downfall in the US around specific cities as well. And Elon Musk also quoted Mario Nawfal, who put out this post, massive numbers flown directly to swing states and put on the fast track to citizenship. Voter importation. It's a sure way for the Democratic Party to achieve permanent victory, diabolically smart. And regardless of if you support Elon Musk or not, it doesn't really matter, right? The big focus here is that this should concern you. I mean, the facts are there. The data is there. And over here we have the flights are indeed disproportionately to Republican voting states. And if we look at this, we have by destination states, 2020 vote, Trump and Biden. And you already see that the destination states are primarily Republican. And we even have here the goal is to flood Republican areas with illegal aliens and then grant them amnesty. It is the Democrats' means of replacing the vote by diluting GOP strongholds with these votes. It ought to be illegal, and both Kamala and Mayorkas ought to stand trial for it. Now, also over here, we have the Dems have imported massive numbers of illegals to swing states, triple-digit increases over the past 4 years. Their stated plan is to give them citizenship as soon as possible, turning all swing states Dem. America would then become a one-party deep blue socialist state. And like I said, regardless of who you're voting for, regardless of your political stance, no one should think that this is right. No, as we really look at what's going on here, it's not just affecting the election. As I've said, it's affecting the overall health of cities in the US, and it's also causing, crime to rise in a lot of these areas. It's killing property values. It's destroying areas. And a lot of people don't realize that this is also costing everyone a ton of money in taxpayer money. Your taxes are literally being absorbed by this nonsense. Now we also have over here, if given 4 more years to do it, the big government machine will legalize vast numbers of illegals, making all swing states permanently deep blue, just like they did with California. Every major Democrat politician has stated that their goal is to legalize all illegals, believe them. And here we actually have a flashback to January of this year, where Kamala, on her solution to the border crisis, stated the solution includes putting resources at the border to do what we can to process people effectively and putting in place laws that actually allow for meaningful, and again, she quoted it meaningful twice, pathway to citizenship. Check it out.
We should have a bipartisan approach to fixing this problem, which is a long-standing problem.
But what are those solutions?
The solution includes putting resources at the border to do what we can to process people effectively, and putting in place laws that actually allow for a meaningful pathway to citizenship.
So there you have it, right? This is their focus. This is what they want. Now, are we against immigration? Absolutely not. Listen, there's good and bad to almost everything. And I think that Elon really kind of summarizes perfectly over here. We have immigrants should be assets to society. Obviously, as someone who's an immigrant, I'm pro-immigrant. I just want to make sure that people who come here are going to be assets to society and that they're going to raise our standard of living. I think the sports team analogy is a good one. If we have the equivalent of Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry or LeBron or something like that, and they want to join the team, absolutely, of course. Do you like winning? Yeah, okay. But if they can't play basketball, they shouldn't be joining. And this is the problem right now, right? Like, as we look at a lot of the immigration that's happening in the US, a lot of it is just to have their agenda continue to be pushed. It's to, sway elections. It's to control things. It's to, push agendas, further. Immigration is not a bad thing if done right. But right now, it's not being done right at all. We are flooding the US with illegal immigration that's resulting in nothing but harm to cities, to taxpayers, to the value of the country as well. But check this out.
Obviously, as someone who's an immigrant, I'm pro-immigrant. I just want to make sure that people who come here are going to be assets to society, and that they're going to raise our standard of living. I think the sort of sports team analogy is a good one. If we have this sort of equivalent of Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry or LeBron or something like that, they want to join the team. Like, absolutely, of course. Do you like winning? Yeah, okay. But if they can't play basketball, they shouldn't be joining. So that's real important. Obviously.
And yeah, listen, again, if you are paying taxes in the US, there is absolutely no way that you are looking at some of these charts and you're in support of this. There is absolutely no way you can support this. It does not matter what your political stance is, what your thought process is at all. What we are witnessing here is a very significant problem. And, this is the number one reason why we are witnessing major cities in the US experiencing a historical downfall. And once these cities start to slide, they are very hard to get back. We have a serious problem right now in the US. The integrity of the voting system is in question, and it looks as though, and from the data, it's confirming that, yeah, they are trying to steal this election. They are trying to utilize these illegals to fast track them to be able to vote and sway the election in their overall favor. This is a problem, and it's a very concerning issue as well. And everyone, regardless of your stance, should look at this and be outraged, because no matter what is happening right now around your political stance, if this was flipped, if this was Republicans doing this and you were Democratic, I'm telling you right now, it would affect you in a big way. And it's vice versa. So you got to understand that this is ridiculous. And it's doing a lot more harm to cities, to the US integrity, to the overall outlook as well of the US. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.